So, bro,
Yeah.
what are the three things that have helped you grow Hadrian's account to where it is now? Like you look at it, 900 views to 90K views. What was the biggest three things?
Honestly, I have to say the first one is gonna definitely be organic stuff, like definitely focusing on getting more detailed, more in person, more specific with like basically everything when it comes to actually posting the content, having a solid like content planner, posting on certain days at a certain hour, and just making sure that the connection between how I work and my clients work definitely fits together so that his like craftsmanship, I can fit it to my personal like work flow and everything. So that way we are a great fit. That's the first most important thing at the start. And from there, we want to go into specifics on either SEO with the descriptions, because that's a big part of like organic traffic driving with your Instagram page of any kind. From there, we want to be consistently doing things every single day. So let's say posting things to the story, posting at least 4, 5, 6 times a week, maybe more. Like at least I would suggest like one post a day is very good if you can manage it. But if you can't, at least 3 posts a week is definitely like I would say a bare minimum if you want to like show that you're consistent to your follower base. From there, we just want to repeat over and over and just test things, have good like hooks in the descriptions, CTAs, so that you can drive traffic to wherever you need to in wherever you need for the account, if you have a service or a product. And from there, that's like the basic list of things that it's definitely more than three when I think about it, like honestly. Like I would pinpoint first one being consistency. That's the biggest one, I think. The second one is going to be, let's say, having a structured strategy for posting and what are you going to post, why are you going to post it, when are you going to post it. And then I'm not sure if we could really, I mean, it's really just a bunch of small things piled on top of each other. Like small tasks. Like I don't know what you think about it. Like if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, there's a bunch of a little stuff that you have to do, like hashtags and descriptions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But really, I think the biggest factor for determining whether or not you're going to get sales from social media is just CTAs. Like
Mm,
you can have a page with 1 million followers, you can have a product on that page. But if you never tell people to buy your product, they're never going to buy your product. And another thing that I see a lot in pages and any niche, it doesn't matter what niche it is, but they don't think about the type of content that they want to post. They just want to post something, right? So they post a picture of their dog on their business page and they're like, Fido got a new haircut today.
yeah.
Like, that's not going to make you any money. And another thing that I found is you have to make your content tailored to the people that you're trying to sell to, right? That was a big mistake that you and I
Yeah.
made. Um, like making content for other people like us, not for the people that we were trying to help. Um,
I
but
mean, especially like whenever you say like people mix and match like business and personal stuff. So like most of the time there's like a mismatch to the target audience and like the actual like person. Like sure, it's good to be like, yeah, I'm a person too. I have all of these things too, but you could first settle on a, let's say, a brand identity first. Like let's say maybe you're more of a humble like subtle person, like you want to like influence more on a contact personal stuff, maybe you're gonna take more videos of yourself talking to the camera, or you're gonna talk more about yourself, share some things of your personal life, whatever. And or you could go for a more professional approach where you could like completely separate both, and you could just say, "Hello, I am this brand. We do this, and we are best, whatever."
Yeah, I think another thing that's very important content wise is diversity because I
Mm,
see a lot of like car detailing businesses that have the same video 100 times. It's like before and
yeah,
after, or like watch me detail this car. And it's just the same thing over and over and over again. So that once you've seen one of their videos, you've seen all their videos. Like, yeah, the
yeah,
cars
that's true.
themselves are cool. Like you see a Ferrari and you're like, oh, that's cool. And you see it rolls and you're like, oh, that's cool. But it's the same thing. And it has no CTAs, there's no content planner, which is another big thing that people absolutely need to have in place because then you're gonna push it off, right? You're gonna be like, oh, it's 6 p.m. I just finished a long day of work. I don't want to post, but I have to. So you end up
Yeah,
taking the route of least resistance, which is just taking some footage from the day, editing it into the same
yeah,
reel you watch
reducing
1,000
quality.
times. Yeah, and I've even fallen prey to that with my own page, like just having the same template, replacing the words, um, and not getting enough diversity because, like, I didn't have a solid planner. But that's the most important thing that you could do is just have diversity, have CTAs, and have some sort of content planner. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Like whenever I started like using a content planner for myself, it just made things easier, like less things to keep in mind inside of your head. Like if whenever you have an idea, just write it down and find if it works or not, try it out. And if it doesn't, like just move on to the next one.
Yeah,
Like there's just too many things to pay attention on social media for your account to actually grow faster, to not just have a document of things that you need to write down, like, oh yeah, I got this idea, or oh, I need to test this, or I need to post this at that hour. Like whenever you think about business, I heard a lot of times from most successful people I listen to, they say that it's really important to have a list of reminders and stuff, that so that you can separate your thoughts, so you don't have to focus on becoming this guy who just remembers everything. You can just say, okay, reminder at this hour, do this, or reminder, go work on this, or whatever.
yeah,
And that's just going to save so much time. Like, honestly.
yeah. Like I have a notepad that's just open on my computer desktop. So that
Yeah.
whenever I load it up, it's just there in my face, got to do this, this, and this. And I think, I mean, really, if you can outsource as much as you can, including your own brain, like if you could just have a notebook or you have a thought, you put it down, you can take it out of your mind so that you can focus on something more important and chase higher leverage opportunities. Um, Even with like the little things, like, oh, I have a meeting tomorrow. You could
Mm.
remember it, yeah. But if you wrote it down on a piece of paper, you could take that brain energy, that power,
Yeah.
direct it into something higher leverage that needs to be done like right now.
Yeah, I mean, more time equals more money in business anyway. So
Yeah,
you want to be having as much as you want of that if you want to have a successful business, I'm guessing.
yeah. Like the main thing, the whole process of entrepreneurship itself is just buying back your time. Like there's this meal service, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Factor. It's like pre-made meals that they ship to your door.
Yeah.
I got that because it's $5 a meal. And if it if I buy it for $5 and I just get it, warm it up, and then eat it while I'm working, then I can work and make like 10, 20, $30 an hour working. So it's super high leverage. Because if it takes you half an hour to an hour to cook and then eat, and then you're not getting anything done, I could just work on client work, just eat while I'm doing it, and it's higher leverage, right? You make more
True.
money, you spend less time cooking, doing all that garbage, and especially like freeing up your time is a big thing. A lot of people spend time on things that just suck, even that they could just outsource to AI, for instance.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the little things like hashtags or um, like stuff like that or SEO. because it's really not.
Research.
Yeah, research too, like client
Like
research,
all of the smaller
presentations.
things that can be automated pretty easily with AI. Like even if it's like writing a first draft of like some script or copy or whatever, like you really want to like set aside the first draft with AI so that you don't have to go through it yourself because it could take you hours, maybe days to come up with something that is like somewhat working when you have a fully like it's basically a library of information that you
Yeah.
can use like at your disposal 24/7.
Yeah, I even like as you mentioned, like a library of information. I don't even really use internet search anymore for like niche
Mm,
questions. Because if I have to search
yeah,
like, oh yeah, what year was this or who is this guy, then yeah, I'll use Google or some other search engine.
sure.
It's factual. But the other day I wanted to swap Bitcoin on one chain to Bitcoin on a different chain, and I couldn't find anything about it anywhere on Reddit or Google or anything. So I asked ChatGPT, I was like, hey, I've got Bitcoin on the FTM chain. How do I swap it to the main Bitcoin chain? And it told me all these steps, and I was like, boom, simple as that. Got it done
Yeah.
in 10 minutes. And it just worked out all like that. Um, even because you can like hop on a voice call with it, you can just ask it things and it'll tell you.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
true. Yeah, for even I could think about like Adrian's content. Like went ahead with him. Like we were working, and most of the things that we work on, we use AI to like get the first like things out of the way. So let's say we want to create a description that has a specific strategy. Like feed the AI all of the information that we need it to know to like create this like special description, and then that is gonna like spit out the first draft, and from there we're gonna improve it, make it more human, make it more interesting, intriguing, like basically everything that you need to know in copywriting you can apply after you've like used AI. It's gonna save you loads
Yeah.
of time.
And I think copywriting, kind of going into that a little bit, it's something that's still viable for the next few months, maybe. But I think in like 5 years, it's really not going to be a thing. Um, depending on the AI though, and depending on the market. Because yes, AI can write almost as good as a human, but at the same time, do people want to read copy written by a robot? Right? Because you can always tell.
I
And I think,
think the biggest thing, yeah, is gonna be probably average like average people that use AI don't care. They say, "Oh no, copywriting sucks," blah blah. They use AI and they're like getting mediocre results. So then they're gonna go towards like the expert professional copywriter that knows how to use AI and has this whole understanding of human empathy so that he can apply like human connection and psychology to the actual like writing that AI is going probably I would say it's gonna probably never understand like
yeah,
to match the human psychology part of the like words
yeah,
because
that's what I'm
sure
saying.
it can spit out words but it's like it's a robot speaking at the end of the day. It's not like a
Yeah,
real person. So I think the people that are going to be able to use AI the best and like harness it like its resource as much as possible when they're working, first they're going to save a bunch of time, and they're also going to get much better results because let's say maybe you have one client you're working with and you're not using AI. Let's say you start using AI and boom, you get these 9 hours of your day completely freed up. So these 9 hours you could like work on getting more clients. And like let's say next month, boom, 10 new clients. And you can manage all of these people. Now you have to solve new problems, like take on more team members, you have to do a bunch of things. And it's honestly really, really free.
yeah. I think I am excited and I'm hoping for some sort of AI interface, like an API, that allows the robot itself to interact with tools on the web by itself, right?
Yeah.
Like AI being able to click buttons and review images on pages, because currently it can't,
Yeah.
right? Like admin tasks suck even with AI because you have to port the information over and then port the information back. But
Yeah, like let's say you want a website created and want a first draft, and you don't want to spend 50 hours on designing the website. You just say, "Hello AI, make me the website quickly and efficiently," and with like feeding it a bunch of information you want, some images, whatever, and then you can just redraft the whole thing and then
yeah,
just pinpoint whatever you want and retouch it.
and I think
That would be great, yeah.
I think it does already exist because there have been a few experiments where they did that with ChatGPT, but I'm not sure if it's available to the public. I'll have to do a little bit more research into that. But even for like posting on
I
social
think it's
media,
very experimental.
yeah, like you could have a content calendar and the AI will go to Canva and will edit videos and then put them up on your page completely
That's
automatically. And
crazy.
all you have to do is see it over and make sure nothing's messed up. Or like even doing schoolwork. Like imagine if you could plug in an AI to like your school curriculum and it just does it and turns it in all for you. That'd be crazy. That
That's true. Yeah.
like I am excited for it, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it would be a good thing in general for society. But I think it'd be helpful
Depends,
for some
yeah.
time.
I think, of course, there are gonna be like some people that use it in ways to personally gain from it, whatever, or
Yeah.
nefarious ways. But always gonna be like a possibility, whatever.
I mean, every new invention can be used in nefarious ways, uh,
Yeah.
especially
Like,
regarding to like how people interact with each other. But
I mean, just
it
the
all
internet.
changes. There's always going to be a way, right? People don't change, but the ways that people interact and the
Yeah,
tools they use do. Um,
like the internet.
yeah, right. Like I was reading um, the Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and it was saying
Hmm.
like the politician is everybody wants to have power, but then when they get power, all they want is more, and then they use other people to manipulate these people. And he was talking about the societal implications that people go through in their lives. And it was written 2,000 years ago, but it's still perfectly valid. It's
Hmm.
and people really don't change. But on a little bit of another note, this is going to be a little bit random, but Coke Zero has to be one of the greatest inventions of humankind. Like, you're telling me I could just drink this and nothing will happen? It's crazy. It's there's nothing in there.
I don't
It's
know.
chemicals.
I'm not aware of anything that is revolved around that.
Yeah. A lot of people say too, like, oh, aspartame will kill you. But if you look at the clinical trials, it was done on rats, and they put very, very small amounts of aspartame in their diet. And um as a 160 pound person, 155-pound person, I would have to consume like 60 cans of Coke Zero a day to get cancer. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think isn't there a bunch of like companies that are risking like they're getting into like lawsuits and whatever about stuff that could like if you take like 900 a day you could get cancer or something like that. And
Yeah,
when you really just look at the what's inside of the product and it's like 50 grams of sugar, you're like, maybe the sugar is gonna kill me before the other stuff or
yeah,
give
for
me
sure.
like weird diseases. Like I don't think it's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's like the huge crackdown on Zyn in the US. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got to ban Zyn."
Mm,
They're like little nicotine pouches. We got to ban Zyn.
yeah,
But cigarettes are completely fine. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, if you take like 10 cans of Zyn in a single day, you might die. But if you smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, you're gonna die for sure, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of like stuff. It's like
Like raw milk. That's a big thing.
really.
Yeah, you can't in I don't know how it is over there in France, but here in the US, you can't buy milk for human consumption. You have to buy it from like a dairy that makes it, and they have to label it not for human consumption because it's
Oh,
banned.
I heard of that in certain states, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like if I want raw milk, I can't go buy it at Walmart. I have to go down to my local dairy and buy it,
Interesting.
and there's a big sticker on the thing that says not for human consumption. but it's with all
Yeah.
the other human products and there's like testing and everything. So they make it
Okay.
for human consumption, but they say, hey, don't drink this.
And no marking, no, yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
like it's just crazy to me that you can't buy raw milk at Walmart, but you could buy cigarettes and a Big Mac.
Or
Any sense?
50 liters of alcohol. Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't think we have any restrictions on that, like here. Um, I do not drink milk whatsoever, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But I'm sure there's definitely like some things that could be like deemed not safe for human consumption when they're like completely fine. It's just like lawsuits, whatever. It's like
Yeah.
not really physical like importance.
Yeah, I think it's like if you're gonna go after health and you're gonna ban things because they're unhealthy, you either go full measure or nothing. Like
Yeah.
I should be able to buy raw milk with my Big Mac if I want to, but to not be able to have raw milk, but go buy a pack of cigarettes and like the most unhealthy 70-gram sugar energy drink doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Yes, I do like my energy drinks with 20 grams of sugar in this small can.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like you see those like cross sections where you see like the can and it's like cut away and it's like that much sugar. But it's
That's
not,
crazy.
yeah. But here's the craziest part. It's crazy that there's that much sugar in there. But what's even crazier is that it's not powdered, it's not cane sugar. It's not like a
Mm.
white crystal inside the
Oh,
bottle.
it's refined.
Yeah, it's syrup. Like it's
Yeah.
just glucose corn syrup came
I
from,
mean, just take a regular bottle of like Coke and just boil it in a pan and you'll see the result. Like it's actually pretty disgusting when you do that.
yeah.
Like when all of the liquid goes away and you're just like left with like black tar at the bottom, like sugar completely cooked. It's really weird.
Yeah. And something about Coke Zero that really is kind of funny is that if you um if you have like a cup of Coke Zero and a cup of regular Coke, if you have like a little like a bottle cap or like a weight, something with a little bit of weight, um like a piece of paper with a penny on top, right? If you put it in the Diet Coke, it'll sink, but if you put it in the regular Coke, it'll float because the regular Coke is a lot denser because there's so much sugar in there.
Oh,
Disgusting.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, like even with fast food, like the bread that you buy at the store, it's mostly sugar. I mean,
yeah. And so, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, now it's like ever since I started working out at the gym, like uh 2 years ago, like I started like getting into like more healthy food, whatever, taking more stuff, like and actually analyzing like what's in the food and not just taking food because it tastes like good. Like actually like taking a moment to say, like, yeah, are there any proteins in this? Are there any um is there too much sugar, too much fat, too much this, that, whatever? And then you kind of like understand that when you go to the store, you're like, all of this, like most of it, most of the products, they come from a place which is like your, I don't know if you have that like equivalent in the US. Like in Europe, you have like massive stores that have like the base product. So let's say instead of buying like you know one brand with like let's say you have one cereal box and you have one type of cereal in it, like you go to the big massive store and in that store you're gonna be like buying 5 kilos or 10 pounds of that cereal instead of having one small box. You basically are buying in a bulk, like bigger,
Uh,
like more quantity,
are you talking
but
about like Costco?
it's not like added stuff in there.
Oh, so it's just like the raw product, like the
Yeah, it's the raw product. Like you
yeah.
can buy like instead of buying like one packet of like meat for one meal, you buy an entire like 20 pounds or 50 pounds of meat.
I I think we have a couple of them, but in general, no. I think they're just like restaurant supply stores for like restaurants to
Yeah,
get stuff at.
that's yeah. It's like
Yeah,
I would rather buy from that than to buy from the store because at the store you don't even know most of the time like they're gonna add stuff in there. Like let's say you have like, some processed stuff, you don't even know how much you need to. I took like this habit of just looking at whenever I'm going to eat something that I've not eaten in a long time, or if I've not eaten at all. Like I look at the data behind wherever I look at the what like what nutrition is in there, like to know like I'm not eating anything that has too high sugar, like that's just not healthy, whatever. I just focus on organic food. It just gives me more like intake, like nutrition, not just like, ah yeah, this tastes nice. I'm gonna take it. It's like no, no.
yeah. I mean, I think that if a food has an ingredient list longer than 3 words,
That
you shouldn't eat it.
I like
Like
that quote.
you're telling me that you open up a bag of like I don't know Cheetos. You look on the
Oh
back,
no.
they
Oh
put
no.
they put Shakespeare's writings on the back of that ingredient list,
Oh
dude.
no. Not the
I'm like
Cheetos.
xenomorph alien gum, and you're like, what even is that?
Yeah.
Exogenic benzostrate, some weird chemical.
Yeah, some weird. I mean,
I say that as I'm
most
sipping
of
a
it.
Coke Zero. I don't even know
Yeah,
what's in here.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the only like kind of like shit drink that I would take is like maybe from time to time a Red Bull, but it's like I don't really enjoy intaking coffee. I've tried it a bunch of times, so that's kind of the only sort of caffeine I take from time to time. I find that it definitely allows me to do a little more work
Yeah,
from time to time. If I'm like feeling this grudging, whatever, tired, blah blah blah. It's like either take a nap or slight bit of caffeine in the middle of the day.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
don't just fucking fall down and die.
yeah. You've got to be careful with caffeine, bro, because then eventually you'll end
Yeah.
up like me. I've got caffeine pouches right here, and
Oh yeah.
inside here, I've got the caffeine pouches, but I also have caffeine pills. They're 200
Okay.
milligrams of caffeine a pop.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna ever go there. Like I don't feel the need to really take it all the time. Like it's like from time to time, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, you get to the point where it doesn't even get you
Yeah.
energized. It just gets you focused and you could just
Yeah.
think clearly. Um, and for a lot of my life, I thought it was because of ADHD, right? Because I got diagnosed with it
Yeah.
years back. But then what's crazy is I was diagnosed with ADHD by this therapist, and I started to clean up my life, right? I stopped eating all these garbage foods, stopped scrolling on social media for 3 hours a day. I started working out, working on something that was purposeful, and it all went away. All the symptoms, every single one. I went back to that same therapist, and she was like, I diagnosed you with ADHD, but you're not filling the requirements anymore. And I'm like, yeah, because I fixed the problem.
Yeah. I
Like they were
mean,
gonna put me on.
honestly, I can relate. Like, uh, this is more of like a personal stuff. Like, I was born in high IQ like family tree, and like whenever you're bored, you're like more inclined to like ask a bunch of questions. And it's like when you have the let's say the average student today, it's like they bend themselves to the will of the teacher or whatever. Like I was that one student with like don't care whatsoever about what was happening. It's like, let's say somebody would say, like, yeah, do your work and shut up. And we're like, bro, why? Why do I have to do that? Like, no.
Yeah.
And I would start asking questions, and people would get so angry for no reason. And a funny example would be like, let's I can also like couple this with like I'm I would say over 100% honest. Like I despise liars and lying. Like if I am forced to lie, that would go against a core value of mine, and I would like live in shame for some time. Like I remember like somebody in the class was doing like some stupid thing, and I joined in, and I like maybe I think it was like throwing stuff at the whiteboard or stuff like that, like stupid kid stuff. And the teacher was like, "Yeah, who did that?" And I were like, "Bro, I did that." And
That was
I'm that
me.
kind of me, yeah, yeah, not me. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely a different kind of like vibe when you look at how my school life went compared to most other people in my life or that I've been able to compare with. Like, there's definitely something there. Like, I used to go when I was like younger to a therapist where it was like a special kind of therapist to get me more talking about stuff because I was like when I was smaller I was overweight and I was like mega insecure but at the same time ultra perfectionist, so it's like basically I would either do nothing all of the time or I would do like ultra mega perfect completely. And let's say I was like going to the therapist wherever because my parents were like, yeah, you need to go, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, I don't even know any better. Like, I'm just a small kid. So I do that. And then when I started like getting better and better, I just not cared anymore about like it didn't really affect me, whatever, like going there anymore. So at some point I stopped, but not too long ago, before I started my self-improvement journey, I went back and I said, yeah, um, I would like some answers because I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Like I picked this uh like course to take after my bachelor's, and like it was something I was interested in, but I ended up like canceling because it's actually not what I wanted to do, which made me go on this whole journey to change and like learn who I am really, whatever, and figure out what I want, like truly. And I remember going there and like after I started my self-improvement journey, and the the therapist was like really like in shock. They didn't understand like how it was possible for me to have changed that much in so little amount of time. And they're like, yeah, I mean, you just I can't, but they couldn't help me basically. They were like, if you want to help, I can like hear you out, but I can't really help you. Like,
Yeah, it's such a messed up system too because they do things that will cause a reaction, right? Like
yeah,
they'll take an 8-year-old kid and they'll sit him down in a chair for 8 hours a day and
yeah,
force him to listen to things he doesn't want to listen to. And then when he acts out because, that's not natural, then they put him
yeah,
on. I don't know if you guys have this in France, but we have Adderall, Ritalin, and Vyvanse. Those are like the main ones.
yeah,
They're amphetamines. They're meth.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They'll
Yes,
put
give
kids on
meth to
meth.
the toddlers. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, they wanted to give me I think it was Vyvanse or Ritalin, and it was just literally meth. And I was like, why the hell would I take meth because I'm depressed when I'm eating junk food and
Wow.
smoking all day? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a
It's
problem.
like I remember a bunch of people saying, "Yeah, I'm depressed, whatever, I'm doing too much work, I'm feeling burnt out." Bro, you look like shit. because your life is shit. Like, obviously, the problem is not you are depressed. The problem is something is affecting you and you are depressed because of it.
Yeah, like depression, it's not a chemical imbalance most of the time. I think maybe like a few in like a million, maybe there's a chance that something in your head could be messed up. But for the amount of people that have
Don't
mental
know.
conditions that we're seeing today, it's not,
Yeah.
you're like 25% of the population does not have chemical imbalances. I don't care what the doctor says. Like, especially even in my personal life, when I've seen it, I remember one of my it was like 3 or 4 months after I started self-improvement. I had been going to the gym already for like a year and a half. So I started looking a lot better, eating a lot healthier, and just being a lot more content, right? And I remember
Mm.
one of my ex-girlfriends texted me and she was like, How did you improve yourself so fast?" And I'm like, "You just," because she was depressed at the time. And I was like,
I
um,
wake up at 4 a.m.
yeah. And she was like,
End
"How
of
do I stop?"
story.
Yeah, how do I stop being depressed? And I'm like, well, you're number one, you're like 15 pounds overweight. Number two, you're on Lexapro. Number three, you eat McDonald's. Like, yeah, you should be depressed, you know?
Mm. Completely makes sense. Like your state of mind is going to be a perfect like reflection of whatever your life is looking like right now.
Yeah.
And if your life is like garbage and you're doing nothing, you have no drive, no purpose, no nothing, and you're like just going through the motions and you don't know why, chances are you don't like you're probably feeling depressed.
Yeah, I mean, the only real excuse for being depressed is like if something actually bad happens. Like if you like,
Lack of knowledge also.
yeah, true, that's true. But like say you're some kid in Syria and your parents get blown up. It's like, yeah, you can be depressed for a little bit. That's fair. But if you live in America, there's like or France or any first world nation for that matter,
Hmm.
there's zero reason. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
just a
agree.
problem that you need to fix. And also, it's all about frame control, right? Because I remember I went to Mexico a couple years ago, um, and we were going down to Borjas. It's in Chihuahua, and we were looking at
Hmm.
these villages, and these kids were like living like literally in the dirt in mud huts over there in the poorest villages that we went to, and they were still smiling, and it's like, damn, you
Yeah.
telling me these kids are eating roadkill and living in the dirt, and they're still smiling, and I can't when I have running water,
Yeah.
like a toilet.
Yeah.
So as long as,
Food, water,
yeah, as long as I have
shelter.
a roof and like food, I'm good.
Yeah, same. Like I was like previously, I was like really like, yeah, I want all of these things. I want to be this kind of person. I want to have this kind of like bed. I want to have this kind of desk, this kind of like massive computer system. I want everything to be like really high quality, whatever. And then I was like, people in the world, some people don't have the luxury that I and other people in my kind of country have. And why would I be like going for that if I can just be okay? Like I have like I think there's really just two kinds of ways to live. And it's first, you just go and perform at your best and you get what you actually want. Like you get greedy about life and you want more and more and more. Or you go the opposite route and it's basically just a minimalistic approach to life and you just have somewhere to sleep, to eat, and to defecate and end
Yeah.
of story.